Good morning, everyone. This is Kelly Beatty coming to you live from the Chelmsford Common on our Independence Day celebration here in the beautiful downtown Chelmsford area. It's a beautiful, gorgeous, clear sky day. The weather's a little bit warm, but we're going to deal with that. It's a great day to have a parade, great day to have a celebration. I am joined by Jeff Hardy, who's formerly the chair of the parade committee. Jeff, tell us a little bit about the parade setup. It's no longer run by the town, right?
No. The parade committee has been its own entity probably for about 7-8 years now. Originally, when I came on, it was with the business association, and then we kind of developed a different committee offshoot from that. Still appointed from the town manager's office, but we've always, the funding is purely by donations. No taxpayer dollars goes towards this event. And it's all volunteers, and it's continuing on, and the new committee is now taking over, and they're doing a fabulous job. It's been a seamless transition. I was up at the school for a couple hours this morning as people were arriving to the staging areas, and it's going to be another great parade, and this tradition will go on for a long time, I hope.
And we want to mention that right now, on their way down to the center of town are approximately 2,000 runners who are participating in the annual John Carson road race. By my reckoning, this is the 50th year that this road race has taken place, and we'll have more on that in a bit. The runners are, it usually takes them about 10 minutes to get down here, so we expect to see the first leaders in about 5 minutes crossing the finish line here. We have people lined up on both sides of the street. In fact, in classic Chelmsford fashion, I saw my first chairs, I think, on Friday or Saturday morning here. It's a place, there's actually 3 races going on today. The road race, and the race to get your seat in position, and the race to get a shady spot for your car.
Yeah, I have to say, the parade committee did a great job about communicating and asking people to kind of refrain from get the chairs out too early. And for the most part, I think people respected it. My first chairs I saw was on Sunday, which was exactly what we had hoped for. So people have been great about that, and like you say, it's an anticipation that is always welcome.
Now, you talk about your tradition. This is the 51st year that Chelmsford has had an Independence Day parade celebration.
51st consecutive.
51st consecutive. Thank you for that.
There were parades back in the 20s and even the late 1800s, as far as we can tell.
And so, and as I mentioned, this is the 50th year for the John Carson Road Race. We have a lot of activities going on already since early this morning. At 8:30, we had the flag raising, and Emily Bruce sang the Star Spangled Banner. It was a great patriotic moment. We've heard that the first runners are actually over the 495 overpass right now. And those of you watching on TV can see the lead runner all by himself about to take down that pedestrian. But we want to remind people here to find a spot along the side of the road because they'll be coming through momentarily. They end up right by the Center Hotel. That's where the finish line is. The race is run by Sullivan Farms Homemade Ice Cream, and Robert Sullivan does a great job with that. The race services are provided by Granite State Race Services, and it's really a challenge. All of the runners have little chips on their shoes so that we can time them accurately. Last year it was a great race with 3 people finishing in very close succession for first, second, and third place in the men's division. And also we had a winner in the women's division, set a new course record, and that was by Rosa Moriello. We'll have to see if she's running again this year. The winner last year in the men's division was Louis Serafini. They're both from Brighton, and we'll see if they're coming back again this year. You can see the first runner is making the way down here to the town common right now. Let's give a big round of applause for our lead runner. Number 1. Now, on the assumption that they give the runners the same number that they finished in last year, that might be Louis Serafini. We'll have to see if that's the case.
That would make sense.
This is not necessarily a young person's event, but there are divisions for all ages. Here comes our second place finisher, also number 2. We have our top three men finishers, male finishers.
Now they're starting to bunch up coming down the street now.
You know, this is one of the largest road races on the 4th of July in New England. And as I mentioned, there's more than 2,000 runners typically. A couple of years ago, 2013 and 2012, they actually had so many people register that they ran out of the electronic chips.
I remember.
And here comes our first female runner, number 34.
24.
24, sorry. It's great having two females in the top 10. It's not an easy day to be running, for sure.
No.
If any of you recall driving through town up North Road like this, you think, well, it's like kind of all downhill from 495, but in this last 300 or 400 yards, there is a definite uphill, and it's the last kick that's needed to get yourself past the finish line.
I took my bicycle down this morning, and I was surprised at how much undulation there was. Because, like you say, you assume it's all downhill, and it's not.
These are what you would call our elite runners. It's interesting. Take a look at the name tags as they're going, the number tags as they're going by. A lot of runners actually sign up fairly late in the process. They decide if they're going to be in town or not. And so just because somebody has a high number on their bib doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going very fast. So I've heard over the phone headset here that the female runner with the best time is number 24, and unofficially her name is Katrina Coogan. We'll check to see if that's correct. Those will be posted here momentarily, and we'll have all of the top race finishers for you soon. I don't see Katrina in the list of the top 10 finishers from last year on the female side, so that means that this may be her first race, or she's having an awfully good day, Jeff.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the times stack up from previous years, especially in this heat.
Now, as you see the runners go by, they're obviously doing this. Some are by themselves. You'll see some families. It's definitely a family-friendly event, but it's all for the good because the John Carson Road Race has been run annually since 1989. That was the first year, and it's named in honor of the high school track star John Carson, who was tragically killed in an accident while training back then. In the first year of the race, there were only 14 runners.
Yep.
And only 12 of them finished. And the course was shorter then. It was 1.7 miles. It's grown a lot. It's the third largest.
Here comes Bobby Sullivan now.
There he is. I think he finished a little better this year than last year. He was 58th last year. I checked on that. He seems to be getting better with age.
So Bobby and I actually graduated from high school together. So the class of '82 is well represented on parade day.
You look so much younger. Must be the sunglasses.
Must be.
So, you know, the runners here, as they come through, they're running for a good cause. There are a couple of proceeds, scholarship funds that this race benefits. The runners pay $15 each to enter, $10 for kids. It raises more than $10,000 every year. And it benefits 3 memorial funds for John Carson, Thomas Chamberis, and David Gorham. All of them were track stars or related to Chelmsford in some way. Tom Chamberis, for example, came from Chelmsford, but he was a track star in Salem High School, settled in Rhode Island. Was actually killed during a robbery in 1994. So there are a lot of good causes here today. Mm-hmm. And we thank all these terrific runners for putting up with this warm, toasty day My phone says it's 75 degrees, but I do not believe it.
Mine's saying 93 degrees.
Well, I think
I'll more than believe that.
I believe it's 93. So, in addition to the funds for the memorial contributions to those proceeds that I was talking about, there are prizes for the top winners. The top man and woman in each category gets $300. Second place gets $200. Third place gets $100. I mentioned $1,000 for a new course record. And everybody gets a ribbon, especially the youngsters, for participating. And Bob Sullivan has a really smart approach to this. There's no real awards ceremony. All the prizes will be sent out to the winners. With the exception of the top placing male and female finishers, we hope to get them up here on the reviewing stand for a quick interview once they have a chance to cool down. It is a lot of work. Roughly 60 volunteers are involved in this race. And as I mentioned, Granite State Race Services handles the timing. At the finish line, the runners get some cool down watermelon, iced water to make it all pleasant. And that's Bob Sullivan's approach to this. He wants it to be a family-friendly event that you enjoy doing, and then you get to celebrate the 4th of July afterward.
I find it interesting occasionally you'll see some of the runners actually turn around and go back, assuming that their vehicles are at the beginning of the race. And, I'll be curious to see how many actually want to do that today.
Now, one year I was trying to remember how long ago it was that we had a bunch of guys pushing a couch. Are you here for that?
I remember, yes.
So we've had you've been seeing the first 15 minutes of the race here.
We have a banana and a Minuteman.
The race starts up at behind the Hannaford supermarket on Parkhurst Road. Quickly heads down to North Road, down here to Chelmsford Center, past the Old Town Hall, now the Chelmsford Center for the Arts. As I said, this is a deeply traditional race. It's been run for 50 years. It's just one of those things that we look forward to seeing every 4th of July.
Got to see some of the little guys show up now.
That little guy was by himself. Dad was up at the beginning saying, "Go run to Mom. She's down at the finish line."
Well, hopefully they have a good piece of watermelon waiting for him, because he looks like he's working hard.
Now the parade will actually start at 10 o'clock, but we obviously will wait until the runners clear through here. There'll be a little bit of a pause in between and for people to just sort of mill around and collect their breath. And while they're doing that, they can be taking part in the country fair that is hosted, as it always is, by the Lions Club here along the road. It is a warm day, but there's lots of good food and drink. And a lot of the organizations here in town have booths set up so that you can find out about them. And behind us at the Chelmsford Center for the Arts, the Chelmsford Art Society is, for its 50th year, putting on its annual art festival. Hundreds of paintings, sculpture, photography, and also it's air conditioned inside. So
one of the many ways we utilize the Community Center for the Arts, and every time that building's mentioned, I have to mention Susan Gates and her hard work. I just played an event there a couple weeks ago, and it's just what she's done with that building has been nothing short of incredible.
It has certainly become an iconic backdrop for the center of town. I moved here in 1985, and I remember seeing that building inside for the first time, the big arched windows and the floor and the stage. And I said, this is a special place, I hope. And it eventually turned out to be the case that we got amazing use out of it. It used to be the school. No, it used to be the town
Town
offices.
hall.
Sorry.
Yep.
It used to be
When
town
I was
hall.
growing up, that's where town offices were. And actually, we held my parents' 50th anniversary there, just the last party before the renovation.
Ah. These runners are definitely giving it their all. Good job, everyone. Everyone seems to have a pretty good stride. I don't see too many walking wounded or casualties. But for sure, once they stop running, all the heat is going to catch up to them. Give it one more kick. You can do it. Mom there's running for 3. All right, I know it's hot, but smile, everyone. You're going out on TV live to the world.
Amazing the energy they still have coming up that last kick.
Last year was a pretty good weather-wise year and not too hot. And as I mentioned earlier, we had a new course record set for the women. And we almost had a new course record set for the men as well. Louis Serafini, who was the winner, was just 5 seconds off the course record that has stood in place since 2007. The winning time for the women, Rosa Moriello, was a course record that had stood for 20 years. And I think that's an indication that the road race is starting to attract a high caliber of runners. As I mentioned, it's one of the largest road races in New England on this day. And for an elite runner, 2 miles is nothing.
Well, it is a shorter course. Traditionally, you'll see the 5Ks and that type of thing, and this is a shorter course, but it is an opportunity for them to really kick it up and test themselves.
I'm sure Bob Sullivan was tempted to, because of the heat, to start this year's race at 4:95, but he stuck with tradition.
It might have been a logistical challenge with the staging area.
That's one of the great things about the way the race and the parade are laid out. We happen to have a couple of large parcels. The Drumhill parking lot behind Hannaford is spacious and plenty of room to set people up. And then the parade is being lined up as we speak in the parking lot of the McCarthy School. So everyone is getting set up for that. The parade starts at 10 o'clock. It will take some time to get down to us.
About 5 minutes. All the runners, most of them smiling and still staying positive, so great to see. We still have a large group coming down the hill. Fantastic.
Keep that spring in your step while your relatives are watching you on TV.
You're almost there, Glenn.
Again, a great family event. You will see runners of all ages, and in fact, there are 12 divisions, age divisions in this race. The youngest being from 6 to 8, and the oldest 70 to 150. Or at least 70.
Do we have many in that 100 and above division?
You know, I should ask Bob when he gets up here, who's the oldest runner he's ever had?
Yeah, that'd be fun to find out.
So we'll be interviewing the top 2 finishers for the John Carson Road Race. Katrina Coogan, if you're in here, near here, please come up to the reviewing stand. We'd love to interview you a bit. And also Bob Sullivan, join us up here. Thank you.
More and more families coming up the street.
We're all eager to find out what the winning times were. As we suspected, Louis Serafini was the top finisher for the men, and he's anxiously pacing up here on the reviewing stand. He thinks he might be close to a course record, which would be something on a day like this. We have what's coming by now, what might be called the family division. Moms, dads, and their kids enjoying this great day. Couple holding hands. Who's going to drag whom across the finish line?
Quite a few strollers this year as well.
Absolutely. You can use them to lean on them for support if you have to.
Carry a little extra water and
I bet you could motorize one of those strollers and then wear those shoes with the wheels in the bottom.
There you go. There you go.
So again, Katrina Coogan, excuse me, if you're here, please come on up to the reviewing stand. We'd love to have you join us. And in the meantime, it's 10 o'clock, and that means that the 51st consecutive annual Independence Day celebration and parade has stepped off from the McCarthy School, begun by our local officials and honor guards.
Traditionally, the police honor guard fire their guns, and that signifies everybody up at the school that it's time to get in line and get moving.
They were here in the center at 8:30 this morning for the flag raising and the singing of the national anthem. So as the race continues to filter through, for those of you watching at home, you're going to see a short video that we put together about Pop Warner.
It appears to me we got some football guys, bunch of big burly guys here. We're going to check out this very cool float. So tell me your name again.
Jamie Campo.
And talk to me about your float, and it's very clearly football themed.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. We're part of the Chelmsford Pop Warner, and this is our first year participating, and we wanted to come in with a big splash. So we had a lot of help from our community volunteers. We had Christopher Stowing help us create this magnificent float. We got all kinds of resources here still applying the final finishing touches, and we're ready to go today for sure.
So who designed this? This is fabulous.
I think it was a collaborative effort amongst us, bunch of coaches meetings, and we were able to come up with some of these ideas.
And how many people are going to be riding on this?
I think that's to be determined. Depending on how the finishing touches are, we might just be walking alongside. We have about 75 marchers with us, so we have maybe too many people to be on the float. So we're going to have a big following today.
So that's like a few teams. You got, yeah.
Yeah, it is a few teams.
And so what made you guys decide, this is your first year doing it, what made you decide to do the parade this year?
Just our pride in our community. I mean, we've been part of the program, part of the community for many, many years, and the parade's a great event. It's a great way to show off our colors and our pride.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, I really like this one. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel here for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 4th of July Parade. All right, I'm out here right by Pack 45, right? That's and right. You are Kerry?
Kerry, yep.
And tell me about what you've got here with your float.
This year we have a superheroes float, and we have an amazing city set up with a structure for the kids to kind of peek out and look at the crowd. We have a lot of superhero theme going on. We have the Hulk and lots of just like fun comic book kind of symbols all over the place. It's just an exciting time. Every year we love coming out and doing a new theme, and this is what we got this year.
So last year you did Star Wars, right?
That's right. Last year we did. So every year the summer camp in town has a theme, and they ask the Cub Scout packs to kind of build a float around that to build up excitement for the boys and girls who are going to go to day camp. And so this year it's superheroes. So you might see a couple other superheroes here today, but last year was Star Wars theme, and this year is superheroes.
All right, so talk to me about the Hulk, because how is that made, and where's his arm?
Well, that I don't know. I think he suffered a little injury, but in a recent fight, no. Actually, a friend of our Cub Scout pack has a comic book store in town, and they lent us those materials. So that and a lot of the signs. So it's definitely a great community effort. We get a lot of volunteers helping out to bring this together. A lot of the kids helped paint some of the items on there, and a lot of talent in our pack to kind of build the structure and make sure everything's safe for the kids. So, yeah.
Well, that's great. All right, so it's definitely going to be a hot one. What are you going to do to keep cool?
We have lots of water in there. We have some fans built in on the inside of the buildings to keep the kids cool that are in there. We're going to be rotating the kids in and out just so that they can get different ventilation options. We have some windows so they can peek out and get some air too. But just in general, it's always a hot day. But we're used to it. We've done it for several years, so we're ready.
It is July.
It is July.
It is July. All right. Well, you go out there and have a great time.
Okay. Thank you. You too. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. I'm Diane Steimel at the 2018 4th of July Parade. So after much discussion about who was going to talk to us, we finally found Julie. They threw you under the bus, didn't they, Julie?
They definitely did.
Okay, so it's clear to me that it's Chelmsford hockey. But, all right, this is very cool. Talk to me about this.
This is one of our tutor shooters. We use this for practice when we don't have a goalie. And Nathan, who's one of our bantam players, can tell you a little bit more about it.
So when we don't have a goalie, it's easy to work on your accuracy with your shots. It's fun to play around with.
Oh, so you try to get your shots in the little nets there?
Yeah.
And does he have a name?
No.
You really should get this guy a name.
Name?
I don't know.
All right, well, you can think about that. So how many years have you guys been in the parade?
This is our 3rd year being in the parade. So we've had a great showing with all the kids coming in, and we have 3 championship teams in the parade this year.
Yay! Well, that's amazing.
Right.
And about how many people are going to be marching with you up on the floor?
There's about 50 of us marching today.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so you got a lot of people. It's going to be a hot day. What are you going to do to stay cool?
We have a huge cooler full of waters and Powerades, and we have some cooling towels, spray bottles. Just hoping people will spray us down as we go.
All right, well, you got to do what you got to do. Really enjoy your time here at the parade. And find this guy a name. He needs a name.
We'll
yes.
have to discuss it.
He has a very important role to play here. All right, so here I am in front of the Chelmsford hockey float. They're ready to have a great time. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 4th of July Parade.
And with the winner on the men's side, at least, of this year's John Carson Road Race, Louis Serafini from Brighton. Congratulations on another winning effort.
Thank you very much.
Bob, don't go away. Come back. So, tell us about the race. What kind of an awful day was it out there?
It was pretty hot, but the crowd support was really great, as always. It's my third year doing it, and it was just as good as ever, so it was a lot of fun.
Now, we were anxiously waiting to see if you broke the course record. And what we've got here is 8:52. That's 2 seconds off the course record. You'll have to come back next year.
I guess so, yeah.
Now, this is, am I correct? This is the third consecutive year you've won the race?
Yeah, this is 3 years in a row, and I've gone a little faster each year, so I guess I'll have to keep trying to lower it next year.
Now, 2 miles is not a particularly long distance if you're an elite runner. Was there any part of it that actually challenged you out there today?
Yeah, this course is always a little deceivingly challenging. It's not too shady. There's a couple of little rolling hills in there, so definitely a hard effort. I like longer distances anyway, so anytime I'm running shorter, it's a little tougher.
That's great. So you think you'll be back again next year?
Let's hope. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, this is becoming a tradition for me and my friends. So
you look remarkably cool and collected for having just run 2 miles in 90-degree weather.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm excited to celebrate the rest of the day and get out of here. So.
Well, we'll let you get back to your friends and have
much.
A joyful celebration.
Appreciate
Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks so much. And we're going to bring in here the man with the plan, Bob Sullivan, who, along with Sullivan Farms Homemade Ice Cream, is the sponsor for this race. Bob, how'd you do this year? What was your place?
I was a little slower than last year, but with all the heat, and I made it, so no complaints.
Last year you placed 58th, I think. I checked that, and you seem to be doing a little better each year.
Yeah, this year I think I took a step the other way. It's okay though. It's all right. It's all right. I noticed last year, I saw the video of your show, and I noticed Louis looked like he had just walked the race because he wasn't sweating. And my tank top was drenched.
Yeah.
So this year I went for the white, but I think you can still see that I'm sweating like crazy.
Didn't help much.
Tell us about the planning that goes into putting on an effort like this.
We have a lot of people helping. That's all I can say. There's a lot of planning, as Jeff knows over there, as I'm looking at Jeff. But so many people help. We kind of have it down pretty well. So, this year was good. I think we had maybe just under 2,000 people enter. Yeah.
And I'm looking at the sheet, and you have a new course record for the women again.
Another one, 2 years in a row. So we're happy to give her extra $1,000. It's awesome. And that's Louis, as you said, that was the third time in a row. Nobody's ever won 3 times in a row. So congratulations to Louis and Katrina. If you can hear me, come on up here and take over so I can leave.
So when does the planning start for next year? Is it kind of turnkey at this point, or?
We kind of do it all year. People ask about being sponsors and things like that, but then we really start 2 months before we really start getting going. And yeah, like I said, it all comes down to that week. You really have to cram a lot of things in. You just can't do a lot of things too far in advance. But like I said, that's where I have all the kids that work for me, and my daughter, and Tom Hildreth, and John Carson. Tom's friend Rick this year helped out. I mean, just so many people help out. I can't thank them enough, and I think everybody appreciates it. So, we're happy to do it.
Well, we can't thank you enough for this amazing undertaking that you do every year, the great causes that it supports. And was this the 50th year of the race?
I have no idea.
We'll
Not
call
a
it that.
Guy. I never
we'll
know
call it
numbers.
Unless the fact checkers tell us anyway.
I know it's been going since the 60s.
That's great.
Who was the oldest person to run this race?
Oh, yeah,
That's
we want to ask,
wondering.
who's the oldest person ever to run the race?
What was
upper
the age?
80s. Like I know today there was, I think an 85-year-old woman was supposed to be running. I haven't looked at the results to see if she did or not.
We'll hold you to it for next year.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a 90-year-old guy. I'll find out for you next year for sure.
So Bob Sullivan and Sullivan Farms Ice Cream, thank you so much. Congratulations again.
If you want to call Katie,
right, we're still hoping to get Katrina Coogan up here to talk to us a little bit, but in the meantime, those at home will be seeing a short video that we put together. For those of you here on the town common, we are anticipating eventually the race will be over Pretty much everyone has come through, and the parade has already begun up at the McCarthy Middle School and will be making its way down to the center. So stay cool, have fun.
So I found a bunch of clowns, and yeah, that's fighting words. Decided to talk to
Nitwit.
my buddy Nitwit here. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I was fine till you put the teeth in.
Oh, sure.
So talk to me about your organization and your clown car.
It's pretty cool. We have probably 40 volunteer clowns, and what we do is we go on out and collect revenues, and the revenues we collect, we give back to children under the age of 16. You're not laughing at me, are you? Oh, okay.
You're being photobombed.
Yeah. But that's what we do. 10 years. Today's this year's our anniversary for 10 years. We help children all over the world. We've helped out Philippines, an orphanage in Haiti, another orphanage in Dominican Republic. We help out children all around. What you do is you find our website, email us, we go over the information, we sit down a board of directors, and we decide to help out children.
Well, that is wonderful. Cool? It's very cool. And what is also cool, I was so happy to see the table where you guys put on your makeup, and I want some makeup tips. It's very hot. So what are you doing to keep your...
He needs a lot of makeup tips. You know?
The makeup, it just melts on your face.
Oh, I tell you, I enjoy putting the makeup on. I really do. You know, you get into a character that's just totally different than who you really are.
Did you use the spray bomb this morning?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Can you smell it? But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's all volunteer. Cool.
All right. Well, it's always very fun seeing you guys. I hope you have a wonderful time marching today. Stay cool.
Yeah.
A salubrious day. Oh, we like those multi-syllabic words. I'm always here for it. Always here for it. All right. So here I am with my favorite bunch of clowns. I'm Diane Steimel for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 4th of July Parade. All right, so the ice is melting and so are we, but we are really determined to have a great time. I'm here with Becca. Hi, Becca.
Hi.
And, of course, we see from your shirt,
yes,
you're here with the Paul Center. Talk to me about the float. It looks like a cake that people have been trying to eat.
Yes, so this is actually our 50th anniversary for the Paul Center. We started in 1968, so our students helped us create a birthday cake, and it has all their handprints on it. So we're just dressing it up a little bit with some beads, and then we do have some students that are going to be joining us in our float.
So why don't you talk to everybody about the Paul Center and what you do?
The Paul Center is a nonprofit organization for kids with disabilities. Our summer program is 6 weeks, and it's based off of the students' IEPs. And then we also run Saturday and vacation programs throughout the school year. All of our students absolutely love our programs. We're social, recreational, and social and educational, and they love every minute of it.
All right, well, thank you very much. Happy birthday to the Paul Center. That's great, a cake with hands on it. All right, so here we are melting in the heat. I'm Diane Steimel at the 2018 Chelmsford 4th of July Parade. Hey, ladies, can you talk to me?
Yeah, I can talk to you. Sure.
Oh. All right, so I saw these fabulous ladies walking by, and I had to just stop and talk to them. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
All right, so
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. So I see
We're Rodettes.
You're Rod
Rick Larimore. Rick Larimore.
Rod Stewart.
The Rod Stewart impersonator.
Wow.
I have to change into my shirt.
Oh, I see you've got a different shirt. And so can you tell me your names?
I'm Carol Redmond.
Michelle Malagotti.
Judy Connors.
Pauline Nason.
And so you guys dance?
Yeah.
For
There's a stop.
Rod Stewart sings and we dance.
And you can you show us some moves? Can you show us some moves, or do you need? Oh, come on, we love it. So I hope you guys have a great time.
Always do.
I'm sorry we didn't see you by your float, but that's okay. We'll catch you during the parade. All right.
Thank you.
All right, have a great time.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. All right, so you gotta love running into a bunch of dancers for Rod Stewart. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 Chelmsford 4th of July Parade. So it appears I have found a float without a float. It's not floating, it's resting on the ground. Hi, Randy, how are you?
Oh, very good.
So maybe you can explain this story to us. What's going on? Where's your float?
Well, we were unable to allocate a trailer this year, so we're going to kind of improvise a little bit. We're going to actually march in the parade as opposed to being on a trailer this year.
All right, but you've got all of your great, cool-looking things. Where are you going to put that?
Well, we're going with a Star Wars theme, so this is going to be like an AT-AT right here that we're working on back here, and we're just going to carry everything else.
So, I was going to ask you what group you're with, but like a genius, I see that you're with the Boy Scouts of America. So why don't you just tell me about your particular... Oh, you're Cub Scouts?
Cub Scouts.
Cub Scouts, well, but your sign says Boy Scouts.
Well, yeah. So we're in Pac 107, which is most of our scouts are out of the Byam School in, I guess, South Chelmsford. So, yeah.
Okay. So you look hot already. How are you going to make it through the day?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try. Well, that's all we can do. You guys gonna do all right? Yeah. Marching? I see you got your great outfit there in white. Very good. And you got your super cool mask. I like it. All right. Well, you guys have fun. Good for you for making do with what you got.
All right.
All right. All right, so you got to improvise. You got to do what you can do on a hot day or not a hot day. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel for Chelmsford Telemedia, easy for me to say, at the 2018 4th of July Parade. So I've accosted Walter here. You got to love bagpipes. I love the bagpipes. So talk to me about your group.
We're the Stewart Highland Pipe Band from Wilmington, Massachusetts, and we're here to play today.
Well, you sound great. So talk to me about the bagpipes. Who plays bagpipes?
Who plays the bagpipes? Well, the Scots, Irish, everybody. Bagpipes are a very old instrument, dating way back to ancient times.
And are they hard to play?
Yes, they are. They're hard enough to play, very surprisingly, yes.
They look hard to me. So talk to me about your group.
Okay, well, we're out of Wilmington, Massachusetts. Actually, we're over here. This is another band, the Worcester Kilties, which is also another great band. And we have been around since 1964, I believe, and we're a competition band. We actually go to Highland Games and compete in our different grades that we're in. So.
All right, well, sorry, I hit the camera. You're not supposed to hit the camera. I love the sound. We'll certainly keep an eye out for you guys as you're marching.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to hang out here for a while. We're going to listen to some great music. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel, and I'm melting out here in the heat at the 2018 Chelmsford 4th of July Parade. So when I saw the cutest golf cart ever, I had to flag down Kathy Osborne, right?
Yes, it is. Hi.
And you are with the parade committee.
I'm the treasurer on the parade committee, yes.
And you're also the person who gets to drive this great cart.
Yes, I'll be in the parade in this golf cart.
So tell me what goes into planning this parade.
A lot. My husband is the one running it this year, and we work all year long trying to get bands and marchers and different floats in the parade, and it's been, we've been on the committee for quite a few years. This is the first year that we've been in charge. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of repeat bands and floats that come each year, so it's a matter of getting them and organizing everyone where they should be.
And so, How is the size of this year's parade? Is people kind of canceled because it's so hot, or?
A couple people have canceled, but we still have 97 acts, so we're still good. It's still going to be a good parade, even though a couple people have canceled.
97, and it'll probably be 97. So that is
it's over 1,000 people that are actually in the parade. 97 acts, but over 1,000 people.
All right, so can you tell me about this golf cart? This is amazing.
This golf cart was donated to us by Harold and Dottie Kesey. It's right on the back. They donated it to us a few years ago. So sometimes it's in the parade, sometimes we just use it around in the morning, but this year it's going to be in the parade.
Well, I love it. Congratulations on yet another wonderful parade. Enjoy the day.
Thank you very much.
I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 4th of July Parade. So I have met up with John DiClemente. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very good. I see a World War II veteran. Wow.
Yeah, 1943. I went in 1943 at the beginning when we went of the war. I was only 18 when I got drafted. At 18 and a half, I hit the beaches of Normandy. I went in with the second wave.
Amazing, amazing. Now, do you live here in Chelmsford?
I live here. No, I live in Billerica, at Billerica Crossing, at Chelmsford house, assisted living.
And is this the first time you've marched in the parade?
I marched in other parades when I was able to walk, but now I can't walk that distance anymore, so they're going to put me in that thing there.
It's a really hot day. I see you got some really cool wheels here. Yours, right?
Yes, I'm his son-in-law, Richard Della Cipretti. And yeah, he usually would ride on the back of this, but today, because it's so hot, we got in a convertible for him to ride in.
All right, yeah, so I understand you get to ride in some like good, cool wheels with some nice, cool AC, right?
That's right.
All right, so I hope you enjoy.
When you get old, that's what happens. If I was young like you kids, that'd be all right.
I think I'm old enough for the AC, but good for you. I hope you have a very, very enjoyable day, and we're all very happy that you're here.
Enjoy the day, honey. Nice talking to you.
Very nice talking to you. All right, I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel, reporting for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 4th of July Parade. All right, I'm out here right by Pack 45, right?
That's
and
right.
You are Carrie?
Carrie, yep.
And tell me about what you've got here with your float.
This year we have a superheroes float, and we have an amazing city set up with a structure for the kids to kind of peek out and look at the crowd. We have a lot of superhero theme going on. We have the Hulk and lots of just like fun comic book kind of symbols all over the place. It's just an exciting time. Every year we love coming out and doing a new theme, and this is what we got this year.
So last year you did Star Wars, right?
That's right. Last year we did. So every year the summer camp in town has a theme, and they ask the Cub Scout packs to kind of build a float around that to build up excitement for the boys and girls who are going to go to day camp. And so this year it's superheroes. So you might see a couple other superheroes here today, but last year was Star Wars theme, and this year is superheroes.
All right, so talk to me about the Hulk, because how is that made, and where's his arm?
Well, that I don't know. I think he suffered a little injury, but in a recent fight, no. Actually, a friend of our Cub Scout pack has a comic book store in town, and they lent us those materials. So that and a lot of the signs. So it's definitely a great community effort. We get a lot of volunteers helping out to bring this together. A lot of the kids helped paint some of the items on there, and a lot of talent in our pack to kind of build the structure and make sure everything's safe for the kids. So, yeah.
Well, that's great. All right, so it's definitely going to be a hot one. What are you going to do to keep cool?
We have lots of water in there. We have some fans built in on the inside of the buildings to keep the kids cool that are in there. We're going to be rotating the kids in and out just so that they can get different ventilation options. We have some windows so they can peek out and get some air too. But just in general, it's always a hot day. But we're used to it. We've done it for several years, so we're ready.
It is July.
It is July.
It is July. All right. Well, you go out there and have a great time.
Okay. Thank you. You too. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. I'm Diane Steimel at the 2018 4th of July Parade. All right, so everyone has the Lori shirts on, but Lori. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I see you've got a whole crew here, and I saw that you have a box of T-shirts.
I know. We've got a lot of people wearing T-shirts. Our little motto on the back is "Born, Raised, Stayed," and that's because we're the candidate who's lived in this district, my whole life, and so yeah, we're bringing our message to the 4th of July parade. I'm wearing red, white, and blue because if I wear a T-shirt, I don't think anyone will know who the candidate is. But yeah, we're really happy about our ground support. We got a lot of signs up on the parade route, and we were there last night. We had a booth. We met lots of people, and we're excited about today.
So are you guys walking, or do you have a float?
So we have a car that we, obviously have a lot of water in and some candy for kids, and so we'll have that, but that's more just, bigger sign and some supplies. But no, we're walking. We're all going to be walking and waving, and I'll be shaking as many hands as I can.
All right. Well, this is great. So you got your message. You got your message out there. It's very clear.
Got my children.
You got this. You got children. Hi, children. Lori children, little Loris. All right. Well, I hope you have a great day. It's certainly nice to see you. Have fun. Stay cool.
You stay cool too. Thank you. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. I'm Diane Sherritt-Simel for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 4th of July Parade. All right, so we got a lot of people running as well as walking, running for Congress it is. Right. How you doing? I'm here with Rufus.
Hi, I'm thrilled. Just so happy to be here. Happy 4th to everybody. Thrilled to be participating.
So you got a big old crowd of people here with you.
We do. I'm so humbled by it. We sent out a call to our volunteers. I always say the engine of our campaign are the largely young people who are spending so many hours a week knocking on doors and making phone calls. And we invited them to come out in the scorching heat. We didn't know how many people would end up showing up, but we got 50 or 60 or maybe even more volunteers who are going to be marching with us today.
That's amazing, and they certainly do get bonus points for the heat. At some point, does it matter if it gets even hotter because it's already?
Well, I think I've spent the last couple of days sweating through my shirt, so I think we'll probably do the same today. If everybody is sweating through their shirt, then I think it's all right. Yeah, we just have to have some fun too, I think.
I actually Googled what was the hottest day in Massachusetts. It's actually over 40 years ago. It was 107.
Oh, is that right? Really? Well, how hot did we get yesterday though? Because I think we may have hit triple digits yesterday, didn't we?
I don't know, but it felt like 107.
It felt like 120 to me. Yeah.
Well, so nice seeing you here today. Have a great time marching, and kudos to the big crowd that you got.
Thank you so much. Happy 4th to you and to all your viewers. What a day. What a fun day we'll have. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
I'm Diane Sherritt-Simel for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 4th of July Parade.
So, welcome back, everyone, and we're still awaiting the beginning of the parade here in the town center, but the John Carson Road Race has come and gone, and we're pleased to have with us Katrina Coogan, right? Yep. Who is our winner today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Now, I'm looking at the sheet here, and it's got 9 minutes and 56 seconds, which is a new course record for females.
Yeah, awesome.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That is a record that had stood for exactly 1 year last year.
1 year, nice.
So we hope your record stands for longer. How did you find out about this race? How did you get involved?
I actually had a friend who's here, Justin, tell me about the race, and it just seemed like a really fun community event to do on the 4th of July and have a good time. So, yeah.
And so this is the first time you've run?
Yep, first time.
And so was it particularly challenging for you? Or?
It was hillier than I thought it was going to be, and it's hot out, so it was a hard run, but it was still fun. There were so many people out on the course cheering, which made it a lot more fun as well.
And so did you kind of check out the race ahead of time to see where the hills and valleys were, or did you just go for it?
I kind of just went for it. Yeah, I wanted to run hard, so whatever it was, it would have been good. Yeah.
And we have a trophy here for you as the top place finisher. We'll see if we can get Bob Sullivan to come back and present it to you. I feel a little out of place doing it myself. But congratulations. We hope to see you again next year defending your winning time.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, congratulations. Yeah. Katrina Coogan, who is from Cambridge and 24 years old, our winner in the women's division of the John Carson Road Race. A big round of applause for everybody. And now we would like to call to the reviewing stand Emily Bruce, who will sing God Bless America, or the national anthem. Everyone, please, your attention as Emily sings the national anthem.
Was coming out. Once we see the parade come down, the fire department is going to come out and cue us. They said they've done it that way. I don't know. That's what it said. So they're coming over? Yeah. And then they said the fire will come up here. They said that the fire will come up here.
Put together for you. So once again, we're waiting for the rest of the parade to make its way down to the center. It shouldn't be very long now. They've been marching for about a half an hour. Everyone will be eagerly awaiting their arrival. It's going to be a huge parade today, almost 100 entrants. And in the meantime, for those of you at home, we're going to have a little video about Dan Coe, who's running for Congress. And very soon here at the Town Center, we'll have our national anthem.
All right, so I'm here with Dan Coe, pressing the flesh. So I haven't seen so many political candidates marching in Chelmsford for the 4th of July parade. This is kind of fun.
We're really fired up. You know, I grew up right down the road, and I'm just so excited to be here. We've got a great group of people who I think are really fired up about taking our country back, defending the America that we believe in. And for us, it's really about making sure that everyone has a shot at a good job, having good health care, and standing up to President Trump, and that's what we're all about. I'm Korean and Lebanese, and my family's only possible in a country that's accepting of immigrants, and so that's why I really take this personally and really proud to be here today.
Well, it's amazing. You got the big sign.
We got this whole crew.
Big props for the big sign and the crew, and lots of smaller signs. So, you got some flags happening.
Oh, yeah.
So you definitely have put forward a united front here.
Yeah, we are.
All right. Well, it looks like things might be getting ready to roll. So you absolutely have a great time marching today.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chelmsford.
I'm Diane Sherritt Simel for Chelmsford Telemedia at the 2018 4th of July Parade.
Sorry about that. We're ready for the parade to come through. I'm here with my colleague and partner in crime, Jeff Hardy. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great, Kelly. How are you?
Fine. We have winners for the floats, but that's a little bit premature. I'm wondering if we could get John Osborne up here on the reviewing stand. I see him down here. He is the new chair of the parade committee.
No, well, look, John, we need to talk to you.
John, why don't you come up here and chat with us for a second? Okay.
Did we lose him?
I think we did. He went. He's everywhere. John is.
John's juggling a lot of balls right now, so I know he's on top of everything right now. So
he was right here.
I know, you got to give him a pass. I understand what he's going through.
So what a successful race that was, with a new winning time for the female division, and it's great to see such enthusiasm for something like that.
I think it's great where you had somebody who hadn't even really thought about running the road race and got encouragement from others, and I think that's hopefully what is going to bring more people to this race, and you're going to get some new records here and there, and so it's just expanded, and it was a perfect day, and a little warm, but they all seem to be doing well.
And we're getting ready for the parade. The parade is just an amazing undertaking all by itself. The committee has been working so hard. I attended their last meeting. We mentioned John Osborne is the chair. Paul Cohen, our town manager, serves as the liaison, and Pat Wojcik from the Board of Selectmen, Colin Spence from the Chelmsford Police Department. They're the sort of key liaisons, but the committee themselves has been working very hard. I'd just like to run through their names. Sharon Smith is the vice chair. Kathy Osborne is the treasurer. Rick Romano, an old steady hand, I know. Sharon McNamara, Jim Dolan, Kevin Bowden, Paul Hardy, Debbie Haywood, Allison Ludwig, Kathy Bradley, Scott Amos, Rich McLaughlin, and Arlene Wood. And they have just so many things that you can imagine going right and going wrong in setting up a project like this. Jeff, when does it really get, what's your night that you lose the most sleep over?
Well, probably last night was especially this being John's first year, would probably be the most stressful. It's a year-round job. People don't understand that as soon as this wraps up and we kind of get all the financing and everything shaken down, then it goes back to writing letters and, asking the bands and the other participants just to, put us on their calendar, because they book out years in advance. Some of the larger bands. So it's a it's a year-round job. They'll take a little bit of a break into the holiday season, but once you hit that clock turns to the new year, you've got a 6-month window and the work begins, and it ramps up as the months get closer and closer, and May and June becomes quite stressful. But it's a well-oiled machine, and like I said, this committee is continuing on. What you're going to see today, we have some new things we've never had before, which I'm excited about, and last night, and I guarantee you July 5th will become John Osborne's favorite day of the year.
He and the committee will have a chance to relax only after the last act goes through.
Actually, no, because there's a lot of breakdown and some follow-up things that have to be done. And like I said, tomorrow will be the day you can relax. This day doesn't end as the parade ends. We continue on for a few hours later on. And, it's that committee of volunteers who come out here and help clean up and do the things that need to be done. So,
the bands that you'll see today, sometimes in some situations they have town businesses that have sponsored them. That's a really important part of making this all work, is the cooperation of the town businesses to support the parade committee, because there are no funds from the town actually spent on this. And it's a big budget operation. I was looking at the treasurer's report. It's something like a budget of $65,000.
Yes.
Almost all of which comes from goes to paying for the bands.
Yeah, well, and so you see the banners throughout town. It's one of the funding vehicles. Obviously, the generous, continuous donations by the businesses in this town, and myself owning a business, I'm a huge advocate for supporting the local business, and because what they give back is well beyond anything that they could ask. So I encourage people, you see these businesses today, please keep in mind that they donate a lot of resources, and they donate time. I mean, you listen to all the names on the list of the committee. Many of them are business owners and giving back to the town because they feel it's what they want to do, and that's what makes this town fantastic.
And as we've been speaking here, Jeff, I had a John sighting. John, why don't you come up here and say a couple of words for everybody? You up here with me.
Don't be shy, John.
He is so shy. I know he's got a million things going on. I thought maybe we could just catch you for a moment in the calm before the storm. Is everything under control?
Okay.
Yeah, you're on.
I'll do that, okay? I'll do that, okay?
Are you ready for the parade to come through?
Yes, I am. We've been working on this for the entire year. We have a lot of good acts this year, and it's shaping up to be a nice long parade too for the heat. So just everyone stay hydrated. Make sure you enjoy the parade and have fun.
Now, I attended your last committee meeting. There are a lot of people on that committee. Who does what? I mean, is somebody in charge of cleaning up behind the horses?
Yeah. Well, basically, we did have the horses, but it was too hot for them to show up today. But they brought their own catcher for them. So the committee consists of 15 members of the committee, all volunteers, that we kind of split the jobs up. We contact previous participants of the parade. We go to other parades to look at what they're offering for acts. We give them our business cards, see if they would like to participate in our parade. And we actually work with Wakefield a lot. Wakefield has a 4 p.m. parade today, and whereas it starts at 10 a.m., we were able to take and leverage some bands from there. We actually have 2 bands from Canada coming this year, the Titans and the Ambassadors, along with the Minutemen, Fife and Drum, Sons of Italy, the Hot Tamale Brass Band. There were a lot of favorites in the parade.
And so I know you've got a lot to do, and I won't keep you. We see the lead car coming down the road. Any highlights you want us to pay attention to as the parade?
There's two highlights I really think you should look for on this parade. The first one is we have a 94-year-old World War II hero veteran coming down. It was a little warm for him today. He was going to ride on the back of his son-in-law's Harley-Davidson trike. But we did not. It was a little too hot in the sun, so we rushed around yesterday, and Alan Mello Dodge out of Nashua, New Hampshire, actually donated a vehicle for us to use that he could sit in the front seat when he gets hot. And then there's marching in the submarine veterans. Is a U.S. Army Ranger back home on leave from Afghanistan. Everyone should be proud of him. He's serving our country and keeping us all safe. His name is Corporal Brian Shanahan. Shannon.
That's great. John, thank you so much for joining us for these couple of minutes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Break a leg. So we're waiting for, we see the first phalanx of police vehicles and the police honor guard who will be coming when they reach the town center here in front of the viewing stand. Emily Bruce will sing the Star Spangled Banner for us. And we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten your seatbelts. We're going to have us a parade. We ask you to please stand for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we've hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A terrific job of that. Thank you so much, Emily. And so we're ready for the honor guard to step forward. Jeff, who's going to be in this first honor guard?
The honor guard today is led by Sergeant Jeffrey Bernier, Sergeant Jason Poore, Sergeant William Carlo, Detective Craig Walsh, Patrolman Nicholas Zeminski, Patrolman Robert Brown, Patrolman Ryan Callahan, Patrolman Aidan Gillis, and Patrolman Craig Mead. Also led with Police Chief James Spinney and Deputy Chief Dan Ahern.
Making their presence known for us. They were here this morning at 8:30 for the raising of the flag here on the town common. As were the other honor guards. Crowd is giving them a great round of applause.
Nice job, Chief. Thank you.
And coming up behind them are the not exactly the founding fathers, but our Board of Selectmen and Town Manager Paul Cohen. Always great to see them. chairman of the board is Glenn Diggs, and Vice Chair Ken Lefebvre, Emily Antul, George Dixon Jr., and Pat Wojcik.
That has patriotic flavor should come out today because they would be reinforced. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Also,
Thank you for matching the
congratulations to the
team.
parade committee for a great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Do you want to say anything? No. Okay.
This is definitely a day to wear comfortable clothing and make sure that you get from the beginning to the end.
Looks like they need a little bit of assistance.
We're having our first breakdown.
Keep
while they're
together, Paul.
There they go. While they're working that, we want to introduce you all to our parade marshal, Fred Merriam. He's done incredible work in the Historical Society, completely set up the archival system, written down town history books, digitized countless photographs and records. You see him there in the car with his wife, Carol, in a car driven by Steve Simonian. It's a 1974 Cadillac Eldorado, a fitting vehicle indeed for our parade marshal. Congratulations, Fred and Carol. You know, his latest project has been scanning all of the Chelmsford High School yearbooks. You know how many pages?
I can't imagine.
11,500 pages from
Wow.
1925 to the present. He is indefatigable. He has taken on the role of handling all of our chronicling of the history of Chelmsford.
Well, there's many standing here today that at least have one picture out of that 11,000. So everybody should give him a big round of applause and thank you for that project.
Well, the police department has had its moment in the spotlight, and now it's time for our wonderful fire department to take center stage, led by the command staff Chief Gary Ryan, the Deputy Chief Michael Donahue, and Department Chaplain Steve Burkett. They're getting very comfortable over there next to the town hall.
They've done a great job transitioning to that new firehouse, and I think it's a huge benefit to the town as a whole.
Well, we've got some great fire trucks here, antique fire trucks from the town. This is formerly Engine 4. It's a 1935 pumper.
Driven by Dan Ubley. Thank you, Dan.
Coming up behind is a former Engine 5, a 1967 model driven by Evan Boudreau. And behind that is engine number 2, a 2017 model driven by John Reed. You know, Jeff, I learned that when there was the old Center Firehouse, Center Station, the roof was so low that they had to special order the ladder trucks.
Yes.
To get them in.
One of the many problems with the old station. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about that. Ladder number 1, driven by Josh Abbott. Thank you, Josh.
This is Kelly.
Yep.
Our friends from Lowell have lent their rescue truck for the day.
Lowell Rescue 1 and Lowell Engine 2.
You know, all of these surrounding communities work on a mutual assistance.
Yes.
You wonder, they've got to carefully make sure all the pieces are in place when they dedicate a whole bunch of fire engines to a parade.
Oh.
It's Bill Rick Fire Department.
One of the Lowell Fire pickups. More of their Lowell's repair trucks. Could be very handy on a very hot day like today, I'm sure.
You would think.
Our friends from Nashua, New Hampshire coming down to say hello, driven by Corey Morin. Thanks for coming down. The Tingsboro Engine 4. One thing we did miss was Dave Bennett going by in the old 1957 Ford. He was up with the some of the Chelmsford engines.
It's a nice looking ladder truck from our friends in Tingsboro. Thank you for coming. Now I'm anxiously awaiting the appearance of Smokey the Bear. I hear he's coming.
I think he's riding shotgun in this next vehicle. There's Smokey. Hanging with the air conditioning today. You can't blame him.
Did you know that Smokey the Bear, the notion of it by the Forestry Service, is the longest running ad campaign in U.S. history?
Interesting. Here's our friends from Trinity Ambulance. Trinity has been a fantastic sponsor of this event for many years. John Chumley and his people. And we can't say enough about what they do for this town.
Yeah, they've been supporting our town for over 24 years. It's great to have them with us.
And hopefully we'll have them for another 24.
And of course, our town's Department of Public Works, the DPW, has done a lot of work getting everything ready for the parade as well.
I'm glad they're here because, you know, we should be able to recognize our hardworking employees in the town and the efforts that they help do all year long, not just creating for this day. And they did get an honorable mention from the judges up at the school today. So. DPW
there they are.
Driven by Brian Edwards.
Look at all those pipe layers up there in the top. That's great. No water balloons, but
bubbles. I love it.
Great.
I love it. Again, another new transition.
You'd be nice to these guys, otherwise you'll find a big pile of gravel at the end of your driveway. It's great to see them all here today. They do so much all year for us.
They do. They sent a gator, a dump truck, a loader truck. The parade committee wants to thank the DPW for all their help setting up the reviewing stand, the camera stand, the bleachers, getting the common in beautiful shape. They also help with the hanging of the banners up in Drum Hill. They've been doing that with the committee for many years, and all the flags throughout the town. So the DPW, I'm glad they were here and could be represented in the parade this year.
Now, for those of you at home, you can see from that shot that the town common has filled quite a bit since we started this morning. The heat is not deterring people from coming down and enjoying and having a good time. And who they're seeing right now is our school committee and superintendent of schools, Dr. Jay Lang.
Assistant Superintendent Linda Hirsch. Chairman Dennis King. Dennis, how are you? Vice Chair Al Thomas, our Secretary Donna Newcomb, and members John Moses and Barbara Scott. We have the Chelmsford High School Band being sponsored this year by the Dolan Funeral Home. Jim Dolan has been a very generous contributor and a member of the Chelmsford Parade Committee for a few years now. That's the Chelmsford High Marching Band, the proud tradition of Chelmsford Public Schools. The band is a Massachusetts State Concert Festival gold medal winner. They've also played for New Year's celebrations in London, performed national anthems for the Red Sox. They were in the 2015 represented the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in the National Independence Day Parade in Washington.
Yeah, I remember that. But they were sorely missed that year, but they were at a bigger venue than us.
And that was fantastic.
Coming up with the Suburbanettes Twirl Team. They've been twirling here in Chelmsford since 1969. Give them a big hand, everyone. They're the Massachusetts State Champions, Northeast Regional Champions, and National Champions. They performed at Walt Disney World in Ireland, Russia, New York City, and Washington, D.C. We're proud to have them here in our hometown. The studio and team is under the direction of Christina Rapucci and also coached by Amy Melanson. Thank you so very much for being here, ladies.
Another great tradition in town.
This group was formed as a studio group in 1969, and they became the Suburbanettes in 1976. That's when they became a marching unit and a competition team.
Now we have coming up the Chelmsford Elks, the organization that has worked diligently to serve and support charitable and patriotic programs in the Chelmsford community. And the Chelmsford Elks ran this parade for many, many years. Elks motto, Elks care, and Elks share. And their Citizen of the Year, somebody near and dear to all our hearts, Miss Lynn Marcella.
Lynn's looking pretty cool back there under her green and white umbrella.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff to read about Lynn, but we've said it, and we'll say it again and again. We love you, hon.
Well, all I know is she does so many things, and she always brings a smile to everyone in the room when she's there.
Absolutely.
She's going to be joining us up here on the reviewing stand momentarily. She's stopping off at Center Brickyard for maybe a cold
one.
We're happy to have also the United States Submarine Veterans Marblehead Base with their float, which honors the memory of the USS Thresher, SSN 593, which was lost on April 10th, 1963 during sea trials. And during that accident, 129 men lost their lives. We actually have a special guest who's on leave from the 82nd Airborne Army Ranger Division. Corporal Brian Shannon has just returned from serving in Afghanistan, is marching with his uncle Tom Shannon, U.S. Navy retired. Thanks to all of you. So coming up, we have the first of our three teams of Minutemen, companies of Minutemen, who are all linked to the Revolutionary War era. The first is the Chelmsford Minutemen, which is sponsored by Chelmsford Lumber Company, one of our great parade sponsors. Want to look for them on Littleton, on Boston Road, in Chelmsford. Chelmsford Minutemen were formed in the late 1960s and then existed until 1980 when they disbanded. The current group was reformed in 2005. 6 of those earlier members are with them, and since they've all kind of kept together, they're led by Captain John Greenwood and Sergeant Jim Curley. I think it's a little known fact that every year on Patriots Day, they march from here to Concord Center. They reenact that march. Chelmsford Lumber, again, their sponsor. We thank them for their support. Thank you so much. Well, it's become a fairly familiar sight here on North Road to have tanks and armored vehicles rolling down on Independence Day. This is no exception. The Collings Foundation has once again supported this event, and they support living history events and the presentation of historical artifacts that enable Americans to learn more about their heritage through direct participation. That is a M2 half-track that just went by, and coming up is a Hellcat tank.
Now, this equipment could not be here without the generous donation of Ferrera Towing, who goes down and picks them up for the parade committee every year. And we've always tried to pay them, and they will take nothing, and they go down and they do this because they want to do this for the town. There's coordination with them and former committee member Hank Hamlin, who first got us in charge with the Collins Foundation, and they've become like you say, a tradition, and we love having their equipment. Finally, here's a Sherman tank, and once again, thanks to Ferrera Towing.
Scares me just rolling down the road from the sound of it. Well, we're happy to be joined today by our Middlesex District Attorney, Marion Ryan. Welcome.
Happy 4th, Marion.
Came down the road from Lowell. She's followed by another one of our now regular entrants, the Worcester Kilty Pipe Band, which is sponsored by Charles and Jean Parley, their farm in South Chelmsford. The band's in its 102nd year, one of the oldest pipe bands in the United States. They're the winner of the World Championships for Grade 3A in Glasgow, Scotland in 2016. Let's have a listen.
Just last month, they were in Belfast, Ireland, competing with the United Kingdom Pipe Band Championships.
You know, I used to play drums in a high school marching band. I was never that good.
I still play drums, and I'm not that good.
So coming up is our annual float from the Chelmsford Public Library, our wonderful, wonderful library, which is inviting you to come in this summer and let them show you how much libraries rock. Celebrate the beautiful duet of libraries and music by joining the summer reading program. Children, teens, and adults can all share the fun by reading and attending programs at the library all summer long. A special thanks goes out to our teen volunteers who helped build the library float this year.
Fantastic job. Thank you, guys.
I think that the theme is how to stay cool while wearing black shirts.
Hey, they're rockers, they're rebels.
I can remember, Jeff, when we expanded Adams Library, and it was pretty contentious at the time. It went through a couple of votes, and we're also grateful for what we ended up with. It's America.
Absolutely. This is Buglers Across America. They meet the first Sunday of every month at different war memorials to honor war veterans, and it's open to the public. They've met for 130 straight months at the Acton War Memorial, trucks driven by Dave Toma. Dave's been with us for a few years now, and we appreciate it.
And they're followed by the Revolutionary War Veterans Association Project Appleseed. It's a nonpartisan, nonprofit group committed to upholding the values and principles of America's founding fathers. Through clinics and events, they teach rifle marksmanship and early American heritage to introduce people of all skill levels to the knowledge so crucial to the success of our founding fathers. Great.
Okay.
So we're pleased to welcome John DiClemente, who's not on the tricycle here in front, but in the cool-looking convertible behind him. John is 94 years young. He's a survivor of the Normandy invasion of Omaha Beach, a.k.a. Bloody Omaha. He went on to fight and survive in the Battle of the Bulge, escaping just minutes before being overrun. He marched into Dachau concentration camp and witnessed the horrors there firsthand. He is a true hero. Let's give it up for John DiClemente. He's being driven by his son-in-law, Richard Del Archiprete. Sorry, Richard. Want to give special thanks to Alamello Dodge of Nashua for donating the air-conditioned Chrysler Prowler that allowed us to have John in air-conditioned comfort.
Followed right behind John are the Merrimack Valley Vietnam vets. The members would like to thank the people of Chelmsford for welcoming them home for the last 34 years. They have marched in this parade. Their mission is POW issues, and please remember all of our country's POWs and those who are still missing. Great, thank you for your service, gentlemen. So I'll have the North Reading VFW post 10784.
We should have the Stewart
This is their 5th year in our parade, and Arthur Cole is in the car there. Welcome. Congratulations. Welcome. So coming up is the Spartan Drum and Bugle Corps, which is sponsored by Enterprise Bank. Spartans was founded in 1955. It's made up from 120 young adults from all over the country. Each summer they tour the country and compete in Drum Corps International Summer Music Game. They are an annual top 5. The Spartans have won 5 world championships and numerous other awards. They're always looking for members. You can look them up at spartansdbc.org. But for now, let's just have a listen. Congratulations. Welcome to Chelmsford. All right, the Spartan Drum and Bugle Corps. World Championship Entertainment here on Chelmsford's Independence Day celebration. Thank you so very much for joining us. We are greatly honored that you're here. This group, by the way, was founded in 1955 by Albert LaFlamme, and every year the Spartans recognize one of their members in a lasting and positive way in his honor. Just a very deep, great organization. And of course, they're sponsored by Enterprise Bank. Jeff, did you know that they're the largest bank headquartered in the Merrimack Valley? Our friends from Enterprise.
I do.
They've got 2 branches here in town on Littleton Road and Drum Hill Road. And their team, you can see all the volunteers that they brought here today. They dedicate a lot of time and effort to the community. In the last year alone, Enterprise employees have contributed more than 29,000 hours volunteering in local towns and communities that their bank serves.
They're a great asset to the town of Chelmsford. They've been supportive to many, many businesses, including mine, as well as the community and the generous donations through many, many, many places. So we thank Enterprise for everything that they do. And I believe their float is coming up, which received the Blue Award. As you know, the parade committee has judges come in every year and give a red, white, and blue award, plus honorable mentions and committee choices. And this year, Enterprise Bank was awarded with the Blue Award. We're having a birthday cake. I was in Enterprise yesterday, and I actually saw some of that sitting in Denise Marcarell's office. So their 25th year, and we celebrate with them. Thank you, guys. Come on, Sean, let's go.
That's great.
Sean's a much better golfer than he is a thrower, I can tell you that.
I've got a fond spot in my heart for pipe bands, and we've got a great one coming up, the Stewart Highlanders Pipe Band, which is sponsored by Milltown Plumbing, Heating, and Drain Cleaning.
Milltown's a new sponsor with the parade this year. We appreciate their contribution and welcome them.
The Stewart Highlanders was founded in 1964, and they have several divisions. It's been only 52 years since their founding, but they're actively pursuing a mission to reach a greater audience with Scottish bagpipes and drums and Scottish culture in general. Let's listen. Thank you very much to the Stewart Highland Pipe Bands, again sponsored by Milltown Plumbing. They have been all over the place, folks.
For many years, Harrington Wine and Liquors would sponsor, always insisted on having the Stewart Highlands, and since John sold out, I wasn't surprised it didn't take long to find a new sponsor for them. They're fantastic, and we love having them every year.
They've got more than 80 dedicated members, and they enter in competitions at 3 different competition levels, and they regularly take home major prizes. Well, coming up, we have I don't recall this group being in the parade before. Maybe they have the Chelmsford Westford Pan Mass Challenge Kids Ride. They just completed their 9th ride on Saturday. The group is growing each year. We'd love to have more riders. 100% of the funds they raise are donated directly to the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute's Jimmy Fund. The Pan Mass Challenge is in its 39th year of existence, and this year's goal is to raise $52 million. If you wish to donate to the kids' ride, you can donate online, www.pmc.org/Chelmsford. Great to have you with us today.
Joined by General George. We appreciate that.
Thank you for all your work. Great work.
Some of our characters from Party Solutions. We got Thor, who is navigating a unicycle. Pretty impressive.
Captain America.
And some of the Disney princesses. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter.
We've really made it if we can get Deadpool.
Deadpool,
here.
yes. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter, so I get to hear all about the princesses. And Mickey and Minnie, great to have you guys. No party is
They don't
complete
look like
without
they've
Mickey and
aged
Minnie.
at all since
Not at
the
all.
1930s. Still got that youthful spring in their ears.
Some of us just get better with age. I mean, you know.
Well, coming up is the Roaming Railroad.
Spider-Man.
A train with a group of riders from the Chelmsford Catholic Collaborative having what looks to be a great time. If nothing else, they're in the shade. The Roaming Railroad and the float that follows are from the Collaborative, which serves the parish families of St. John's and St. Mary's here in town. They're proudly presenting this year's theme, Answer His Call, Make the Connection, and Change Your Life.
What a great job they did.
Well, here we go. This is a couple of tanks sponsored by Martin Cox. We have on in the front here, it looks like
Scorpion.
Yeah, this
Scorpion tank.
Yeah, the half track here.
The half track's coming just behind.
Supporting our troops, of course. That looks like a pretty agile tank.
It's always fascinating to see.
I could see rumbling down Acton Road in that.
Well, I know one of our selectmen and our town manager doesn't like it when I run tanks down the middle of the street, but so here is the committee's choice. The Paul Center of Learning and Recreation is a nonprofit organization that offers educational, social, and recreational programs for children and young adults with moderate to severe disabilities. As we know, the Paul Center has been a huge part of this community for many, many years, and I hope everybody continues to support them for the fantastic work they do. Great job on the float, guys.
Well, this sharp-looking car coming up is a 1950 Dodge Coronet, owned and driven by Chelmsford Board of Assessors Chairman Sam Chase. It's in the original, unrestored 1950 fluid drive Dodge Coronet, four-door sedan.
Sam's original and unrestored, too, I understand.
Happy to welcome, as always, the Bishop Ruckel Knights of Columbus Council. They serve Westford, Littleton, and Chelmsford. They're marching along with 4th degree Knights from the Bishop Delaney Assembly, attired in their dress regalia.
truck is driven by Deputy Grand Knight Paul Sider, I believe?
Sideri. Paul Sideri.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You know, the Knights are a Catholic fraternal organization that focuses on charity, fraternity, and patriotism. They're involved in outreach, sponsoring needs for special needs children, and assisting local needy families. Now I know that song. That's the National Emblem March. And it's being played by the Italian-American band who are coming up the road. This band, established in the year 2000, has been performing for us for many, many years. Welcome the Italian-American band. Italian-American band, everyone. A big round of applause for them. They're here every year. We so appreciate their coming. You can catch them in the North End over the summer. They perform there as well.
Great group of guys. We always enjoy them showing up. One of the first ones to jump off the bus with a big smile. Doesn't matter what the weather is. So now we have the Cub Scout Pack 107 float. Chelmsford Cub Scout Pack 107 is largely comprised of students from the Byham School. I'm a Byham School alum. It's an exciting thing that this year the Cub Scouting is open to both boys and girls in the kindergarten through the 5th grade. They're excited to already have girls participating in their pack. Cannot wait for more girls and boys to join in the fall. Scouting helps kids learn to work together, be leaders, as well as active participants in events and meetings. The Scout Oath and Law will help instill values of good conduct, respect for others, and honesty. And thanks for coming today, guys. Nice job.
And having an ability to work with styrofoam is a plus. We also welcome the Kathy Lynch, who is running for state representative in the 2nd Middlesex District. That covers Chelmsford Precincts 5, 7, 8, Littleton, and Westford. Kathy supports quality education, healthy communities, and strong local business. She's followed by Rick Green and his brother Mike, who founded 1A Auto to help people repair their own cars. Well, Rick knows what it takes to build a company, and he'd like to take those same ideas, expand them, and implement them nationwide. He's dedicated to delivering government that empowers economic growth.
Welcome, Kathy and Rick. Thanks for joining us today.
We'll see here a couple of candidates for the congressional seat that's held by Nikki Tsongas, and she's not running for re-election, and it's a wide open field.
Many, many candidates.
We are so pleased to have with us today the Lexington Minutemen. They are the 2nd oldest military organization in the Western Hemisphere. Chartered in 1689, the company was reformed in 1773, just 3 days before the Boston Tea Party. Now, if they look familiar, it's because every year they reenact the Battle of April 19th, 1775 on Lexington Common. They're also reenactors at other events Revolutionary War and the colonial period, including at Minuteman National Historic Park. Great to have them with us, as always.
Chelmsford Town Democrats. Now we have the Spirit of America Fife and Drum Corps. These are a fantastic band that we were happily able to get a couple of years ago, and they're joining us again, and they're sponsored by the Blake Funeral Home, our gold sponsor. Jen Hardy leading the way there. Hi, Jen.
What's really interesting, everyone paid close attention. They use traditional musical instruments, wooden keyless fifes, drums with tightened by rope tension only. The uniform is an exact replica of what musicians' uniforms were like in the 1st U.S. Infantry Regiment in the War of 1812. Spirit of America Fife and Drum Corps.
And again, thank you to Blake Funeral Home for sponsoring them again this year.
They're followed by the Chelmsford Chinese Language School, a nonprofit organization with 30 years of experience providing Chinese language and culture classes to children and adults from families with or without any Chinese culture or background. Welcome. Great to see you again.
We have the North Shore Pipe Band, sponsored by Ferrara Towing. North Shore Pipe Band was founded in the early 2011 from former Peabody Fire pipes and drums.
Yeah, they're led by piper Cindy Carancho. They're members of the Eastern United States Pipe Band Association. They've competed in many sanctioned events since its inception. And in fact, in the 2015 season, the band finished first in every competition it entered.
So you have the Clowns for Kids. Great group of guys. The organization was founded in 2008 by Warrant Electric proprietors and local philanthropists Phil Allard and Jim Allard.
Yeah, the group's
Welcome,
motto is "The world runs on laughter." Thank you for coming. They provide clown workshops to help kids develop character, self-esteem, and to connect them to volunteering in a fun way. You can check them out on Clowning for Kids Foundation, kidswithaz.org.
So a little side note, the first year they came, they were calling and supposedly getting lost. And this went on for about a half hour, these phone calls, this back and forth, and obviously getting a little stressed, and I realized they're just messing with us. And they truly were.
Domino's Pizza here, I like it.
Great for a hot day. Thank you. I think Pat Patriot was supposed to be riding here.
Yeah,
but you know, knowing Pat, he usually kind of goes his own way. I can tell you that from experience.
Well, the political season is upon us, and we would like to welcome to Chelmsford Bij Das, who's running for United States Representative from the 3rd District of Massachusetts. His campaign is about repairing the common thread in Washington, bringing the perspective of an entrepreneur and constitutional lawyer and not a career politician. Bij, welcome to Chelmsford. Thank you for coming. A lot of enthusiasm this time of year, building up for the elections coming up later this year.
This is probably one of the highest volume of politicians we've had in the parade in quite some time, I can tell you. So coming up is the Hot Tamale Brass Band, sponsored by the Chelmsford Business Association. Tamale Brass Band takes their audience on an exciting excursion through New Orleans jazz, festive Mardi Gras. You can see the Hot Tamale Brass Band at Fenway Park sometimes, performing pregame. And again, thanks to the Chelmsford Business Association for their generous donation, as they do every year throughout the town.
Jeff, I know you want to be there playing with them.
Good group of guys. I had the pleasure of dealing with them for many, many years.
Got a couple of frustrated amateur musicians up here on the reviewing stand.
Oh, I just take my frustration out of my drums. It's okay. Mike Robinson and his 1963 Nova.
Looking sharp.
Mikey, nice to see you, my friend. Mike and I used to bowl together. Now join American Family Care Urgent Care. From broken bones to blisters, American Family Care is here for you 7 days a week. Thanks for joining us, folks. They're located up in Drum Hill.
Right. No appointment needed, except for the Chelmsford Parade. You need an appointment to get to the parade. Well, we're always grateful to see the Farmall tractors from the Zahir Farm, Charles Zahir.
Zahir.
Got a, what do we got? We have a 1940, 1948, 1949, 53 and 53, all in obviously great working condition.
Thank you, Charlie. Charlie's there, started bringing these out a few years ago, and we just absolutely love seeing the trucks. It really represents old Chelmsford.
Now we got a couple of vehicles here that would not do well in a farm situation. A 1969 Oldsmobile convertible with a 442 engine. It's in the process of being restored. It looks pretty good now. Still has its original 400 cubic inch engine rated at 325 horsepower. And a 1971 Olds Cutlass Supreme, also in good shape. But we love the tractors.
Yep.
You know, I was raised on a farm in California, and I learned to drive a tractor before I could drive a car.
Well, the tractor, they could keep you home and put you to work. The car, you were going to go somewhere.
Boy, those tractors are running great. Smooth.
Again, thanks to Zahir Farm and Charlie Zahir for bringing these out. The original farm was located where the McCarthy Middle School stands today.
You know, we don't see that many tractors in our day-to-day lives here, but in lots of parts of the country, they are an essential vehicle.
Tool.
You give them the right of the way on the roads. Well, we've got a little break in the action here. I want to remind everybody that there's more to our celebration than just the parade and just the road race. Today until 3 o'clock, we'll have the Country Fair, which is sponsored, as it always is, by the Lions Club and under the coordination of Ron Hubbard. They got more than 50 booths this year. And, you know, the people under those booths, they are sweating quite a bit. One of them I spoke to before the parade said it's the worst day ever. So please come down and patronize them and give them your support. You can get all kinds of foodstuffs. And also, we have many booths here from our local organizations, town organizations that need your support as well. And behind us in the Chelmsford Center for the Arts is the 50th Annual Chelmsford Art Festival. Roberta Witz is the president of the Chelmsford Art Society, and she welcomes you. She and her other members welcome you to view the hundreds of paintings and photographs and sculpture that you can find inside the Chelmsford Center for the Arts. And of course, the parade committee will be raffling after the parade is over their fundraiser, which helps support this parade in a big way. First prize, as it always is $1,655. Now, Jeff, why would it be $1,655?
I think I know the answer to that. And some people I know might have been here that year, but it was the year Chelmsford was established. So that's why a couple of years ago we decided that it would only be appropriate. It used to be 1,500, 500,000. We said no. We need something unique to Chelmsford. So 1,655, the year the town was established, is the number that we chose would be first prize.
Right.
And then we feel it's only appropriate.
And we're waiting for the rest of the parade to catch up. They will in a moment. I want to mention that these terrific aerial shots that you're seeing live at home are thanks to two important people. Community Tree, which supplies the bucket truck every year for us, and Dan Sylvia, who was volunteered, I think, to be in that truck for the duration. At least he's getting the benefit of the breeze up there on this hot day.
Yeah, he certainly looks like he's benefiting.
Community Tree is such a part of the community in every sense of the word. We're grateful to have their sponsorship every year. Well, we're back in the swing of things, and right now we're welcoming
the Chelmsford Community Band.
The Chelmsford Community Band, yes.
Sponsored again by Trinity EMS. They said Trinity Ambulance and John Chumley and the whole crew over there have been so incredibly generous in so many ways throughout this town in the Merrimack Valley, and we really need to show appreciation to them and their generosity. Now, the Chelmsford Community Band is made up of about 60 musicians. They perform full concerts. Many band members stop playing their instrument after they graduate from high school or college, and now they came back to music later in life. I know what that feels like. Band is supported entirely by donations and occasional small grants. Founded in 1972. Some of the members have been it since the first few years. My dad was a member of the Chelmsford Community Band for many years.
Let's have a listen. Since 2014, the band's been directed by Lucinda Ellert, and also they've got a jazz ensemble directed by Arthur Bakopoulos. They're playing on Tuesday nights here throughout the summer through August. Well, we want to welcome Jay Gonzalez, who's running for the governor of Massachusetts. Welcome, Jay. Jay's always been a leader, wants to bring Massachusetts back to being a leader in the U.S., offering an ambitious agenda, and he states he has the leadership experience in the public and private sectors to deliver on it. Thank you, Jay. Good luck in the campaign.
We've got the Chelmsford Hockey Association coming up. The Hockey Association serves the community as the primary youth hockey and ice skating organization, proudly playing out of the town-owned facility at the Chelmsford Forum. They have different boys and girls teams, including all ages.
And now they got a place they can call home, the Chelmsford Forum.
They're hanging in on this hot day. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and I want to mention, speaking of hot, just passed a note that for those of you here along the road, free water is available at the entrance to Brick House across the street, provided by Trinity Ambulance. Just one of the many ways that they support our parade.
You can see their special operations truck over by the Brick House. Go grab a water and say thank you and wish them a happy 4th.
And I had another note here, speaking of good things to eat and drink, that there are fresh homemade donuts for sale at the side window of the First Parish Church. The big white building here right in front of us. Well, the Hockey Association has been playing in the Forum, and they're quite accomplished. They
Fine
were state
truck
champ.
driven by Kevin Spitz there, throwing candy at us.
They are a state champ in the Bantam 1 team and the Valley Hockey League champion squirt in squirt 3s and Mike 2s.
There's the Chelmsford Pop Water, a.k.a. the Cougars.
Cougars. The Cougars, they're the only community youth sports organization that requires its participants to maintain academic standards. And they're a White Award winner for their float.
What a fantastic float. Great job. Led by head coach Kevin Wilder. Cougars Pee Wee team hoisted 2017 Eastern Mass Championship trophy.
Congratulations, guys.
Go Cougars.
And gals. About 150 kids overall involved in that organization.
And a lot of hard-working parents.
Yeah, they were the 2017 Eastern Mass champions. Really great.
It's a little bit like herding cats sometimes.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show that we've got 2 bands that have come all the way from Quebec to be with us again.
Yes.
Here in Chelmsford. I think it was just too cold for them up there, so they came down for a little warm Chelmsford hospitality. And we want to welcome the first of them. These are the Les Titans de Québec. The Titans are a drum and bugle corps that formed in July of 2007. Sorry. They're made up of young people from 9 to 23 years in age who have a pageant for music. They're based in Quebec City, but they've been to concerts, competitions, and presentations of their music all across the U.S. We welcome them again. Les Titans de Québec.
We're back. That's big kudos to Rick Romano, our committee member. Rick has had a relationship with the folks up there and has continued to bring us great entertainment. Oh, here is Rufus Gifford, former U.S. Ambassador to Denmark and Democrat from Concord, running for Congress, 3rd Congressional District.
A lot of enthusiasm there. Good luck with the campaign.
Happy 4th. Now we get the Chelmsford High School wrestling team. The 2018 Chelmsford High School wrestling team won the Mass State Championship, led by captains Joe Vecchione and Jack Stansfield. The team won its 13th championship in the program's history. So let's give a big round of applause for our wrestling team champion.
Chelmsford champion.
Great job, guys. For years have had a very successful program.
Had a great year. Great year.
Don't ask me any questions. I'm going to say one quick thing and then done.
So we're joined on the reviewing stand by Jen Hardy. Well, welcome and tell us why you're here.
In the town of Chelmsford, this is Jennifer Hardy. My husband Paul and I own the Chelmsford Funeral Home.
Jen, let me just interrupt.
We got Carolyn Gray coming, Chelmsford's own. Carolyn's a Chelmsford native and up-and-coming country star, just returned from the Colorado Country Music Jam in 2018, and we want to welcome her. Sorry, Jen, didn't want to cut you off, but want to make sure you got heard.
No worries. So hello, town to Chelmsford. This is Jennifer Hardy. My husband Paul and I own Blake Chelmsford Funeral Home. We're proud to be gold sponsors of such an amazing event. Thank you for turning out today on such a hot day. Wishing everyone a happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. We appreciate the support. And we're not related, by the way.
And passing in front of us right now are the Chinese Bible Church of Greater Lowell. Very happy to see you again in our parade. They provide English, Mandarin, Cantonese, and children workshops on Sundays. And Fridays they have youth, adult, and children's small groups. They're having a new facility built at 197 Littleton Road. Great to have them here. Well, it's the political season, Jeff. And
yeah. You know, people asked us years ago, you know, why do you allow so many politicians? We said, look, parades started as political rallies.
That's right.
That's how this whole tradition began. So, you know, it's just part of the tradition, and we welcome all.
And we want to welcome Dan Coe, who's running for Congress. Welcome, Dan. Thank you for joining us today. Good luck with the campaign. He's a descendant of Korean and Lebanese immigrants. He's dedicated to preserving the American dream that made his family's story possible. He was the chief of staff for Marty Walsh, and he also oversaw a budget of $3 billion. Quite an accomplishment. So we wish him luck in the campaign. They do have their crowds of supporters, don't they?
Oh, I'll tell you. Some T-shirt companies making a lot of dough this year, that's for sure.
Well, we want to welcome Cub Scout Pack 45.
It's our Red Award winner.
That's a pretty impressive float.
That's a very impressive float.
The pack is under the leadership of Cub Master Matt Richards and Committee Chair Kerry Wetzel. They're proud to present their Superheroes of Pack 45 float, designed and built by members of the pack. It's a look into the world of superheroes. Scaring me.
Sitting up top of that float is my neighbors, Chris and William Lovett. How you doing, guys?
They thank the Central Congregational Church for its continued support and the entire community for supporting our youth with fundraising events throughout the year. You know, all of the entrants in the parade have a number that we give them, and
what's more appropriate?
David Lane is making it obvious here. He's written number 76 on his 1989 Lincoln Continental, just to make sure we wouldn't forget. It's all original, never been restored. Has the driver been restored, Dave? Not yet. Okay. Thank you for being with us.
Now we got Glenn Theone's 1980 Corvette L82. It's complete with all original with only 6,500 miles.
You know, I did the math on that. That's less than 200 miles a year. Probably completely taken up with runs to Gary's Ice Cream in East Chelmsford. What do you think?
Karen, this was only displayed for many, many years in the museum at Bowling Green, Kentucky, where the original Corvette museum was.
Hey, look, it's Pat Patriot. He's joined us. Great to see you, Pat. You're here with the Massachusetts Army National Guard and soldiers from Sea Battery, 1st Battalion, 101st Field Artillery Regiment. This thing they're towing, this menacing-looking thing, is a M777A2 howitzer. It's being towed behind a medium attack vehicle. Both weigh over 10,000 pounds.
I was up at the school when they arrived this morning, and all of us just kind of stood back and a little bit overwhelmed at the...
and we're great to have with us the Acton Minutemen, which led the advance against the British forces guarding the Old North Bridge on April 19th, 1775. In the battle, their 30-year-old captain, Isaac Davis, lost his life, became the first commissioned officer to die in the service of our young country. Today's Acton Minutemen march in his honor, and also Abe Hosmer and James Hayward, two others who died that day.
I'm happy to say in this heat, they've been able to minimize the gaps in this parade. People are keeping up very well considering the conditions.
Oh.
Okay.
I recognize that dog.
We have Cub Scout Pack 81 float coming up. Cub Scout is chartered by Aldersgate Methodist Church in South Chelmsford. Pack has been in existence for 50 years, providing opportunities for boys in Chelmsford to learn and have fun. Nice job, guys. We have some friends from Humble Home Care Services, personal care company located here in Chelmsford. Private in-home care. And we have the Chelmsford Dog Association, managing the dog park. Park was finished in 2015 and opened in 2016. Small dog area, a large dog area, an agility area. All can be rented. All dogs and non-dog owners from surrounding towns are welcome. Did you ever find that motorcycle?
I did not. You know, I know about this dog, and it'll be a temporary mystery. We'll find it.
Okay.
Oh, that was Jim Rica and Chester the Motor Dog. It's a rescue dog who suffers from canine epilepsy, but still lives life with the throttle wide open and has ridden over 50,000 miles on the back of the motorcycle.
He's doing so well, he jumped up about 5 spots in the parade. That's impressive. Well, we have our old friend coming up the street, Chelmsford's own Rick Larimore, a.k.a. Rod Stewart.
I think he had to miss last year because I think he had another engagement.
Yep.
But it's great having him back. I'm sure he's going to have a tune for us.
Well, Rick has moved out of town, and so I'm happy to see that he comes back to his hometown. Rick's become like the Macy's Santa Claus at Thanksgiving. We always look forward to seeing him. He also is tied in with the iPods for Wounded Vets. He also has a very special connection with Chelmsford's Operation Delta Dog, raising funds necessary to purchase service dogs for deserving vets. In Chelmsford, Rick is also joined today with Chelmsford Rockstar resident Charlie Ferrin. Nice to see Charlie back out and doing some playing. Rick, always the rebel, doesn't want to be reviewed in front of the reviewing stand. There you go, this is Charlie. Nice to see you, Rick. Back at you, brother.
It's followed up by the team from iPods for Wounded Veterans, who supports our wounded veterans recovering from injuries sustained during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. They're the only veteran group from New England that has gone to Walter Reed Hospital in Virginia and many other hospitals on 22 trips in the last 6 years. Their website, iPodsForWoundedVeterans.org.
Rick giving tribute to the late, great Tom Petty. That was nice. Nice touch.
Well, coming up is Lori Trahan, who's a candidate for U.S. Congress. She's a proven dynamic leader with deep roots in the Merrimack Valley. She promises to bring a fresh, results-oriented approach to Capitol Hill. Welcome, Lori.
Lori, very well known in the Merrimack Valley. Get those boys some water. Me too. There's Lori coming up now.
Good luck with the campaign, Lori. Good luck. Thank you for coming.
We have some antique Mack trucks coming up the road. Also a beautiful Mustang. It's a
nice looking
1966 Apple Red Mustang. Beautiful car. Thanks, Mike Silva.
You wish.
Oh, I'm more of a Corvette guy.
I see.
Some antique Mack trucks. Trucks owned by Ron Loisel and have all been fully restored. Beautiful, beautiful work. Thank you, Ron.
Look at the chain-driven motorcycle in the back there.
Oh, no kidding. beautiful vehicles.
A lot of horsepower represented there.
Yeah, a lot of work to maintain them, especially these old ones. Finding parts and
kind of testimony to the durability of the diesel engine. I mean,
absolutely. And our friends from Shea Concrete. Always bringing some of their beautiful vehicles.
where do you go for detailing on something that big? It's a do-it-yourself, I think.
I'm sure they have their own people. Shea's a quite large company and does a fantastic job.
Well, one of our sponsors this year is the Christensen Bus Company, and this year they're sponsoring the Sons of Italy Drum and Bugle Corps, making their way up the street. You know, once again, the parade committee is so grateful for the support of the businesses here in town who support individual bands. They're not inexpensive to get to march down North Road here. And
well, Christensen donates the buses, the shuttle buses, every year. He sends us 3 buses to get people up to the staging area, and without John's help, and they never will accept anything in return. So we only feel it's right to give them a sponsorship, because without them, none of these people would be up at the start of the parade. So, you know, thanks to John Christensen and the Christensen family, because long time Chelmsford family.
well, we welcome the Sons of Italy Drum and Bugle Corps, which is sponsored by the Christensen Bus Company. This year, the band marks its 79th anniversary as the only Italian drum and bugle corps in the U.S. They're going to perform for us here in front of the reviewing stand. Great to have the Sons of Italy Drum and Bugle Corps. With a long history they have, they performed for President Nixon, for Rocky Marciano, former heavyweight boxing champ. They've appeared on national television 3 times. Great to have them as always.
Between the Italian Americans and the Sons of Italy, that little peninsula is represented very well in the Chelmsford parade, I must say. So we have Pack 70?
Yes, Cub Scout Pack 70. They meet the first Friday of every month at the West Chelmsford Methodist Church in North Chelmsford. They're part of the Spirit of Adventure Council, Boy Scouts of America, which serves Boston and 75 other Massachusetts communities. Great to have you with us today. Nice float.
We have a 1923 T-Bucket, 300 horsepower engines, driven by Steve Ruggiero. Thank you, Steve. Fantastic. Fantastic. How's that running in this heat? What a great ride. So another band coming from Canada, the Ambassadors, brass band from Montreal.
Interestingly, at the meeting I attended, I was told that this band wanted to be at the end because they wanted to leave a lasting impression. And we welcome them from Montreal's South Shore. The modern, gangster-style looking artists are visiting us once again, sharing in our Independence Day celebration. This is a brand new routine. It's a movie musical program. So let's have a listen. Great to have him back with us. The Ambassadors Brass Band from Montreal.
Followed by the golf cart in memory of Harold and Dottie Kesey. Harold and Dottie gave seed money to this committee when we first started about 11 years ago, and through their generous donation, this parade was continued full force. We never want to forget them.
A couple of lovely VW Beetles.
2008 convertible by Mary Beth Pinky Bauer. Thank you, Mary Beth. We appreciate it. A long-time Chelmsford resident.
And I think that with that pink buggy, it draws our annual parade to a close.
If you read the backside, it says, "That's all, folks." Nice touch.
You know, it's great to have you all with us here celebrating on the 4th of July. There are so many people to thank. Want to thank the cooperation of Paul Cohen and Pat Wojcik, along with the celebrations committee led by John Osborne, that made this parade possible. And we want to remind you all that there's more to be seen down here in the town common. We have our country fair put on by the Chelmsford Lions, the art festival by the Chelmsford Art Society behind us here in the Chelmsford Center for the Arts. And, you know, it's been a warm day, but it's been a fantastic day. The vibe is great down here in the town center. Finally, last but certainly not least, we want to thank our Chelmsford Telemedia crew,
Absolutely.
which has been out in the hot sun setting this up, led by Tom Peterson, Dan Sylvia, Doug Maffetone, Craig Robertson, Steve McDonald, Drew Donahue, Emma Walsh, Amber Stewart, Jillian Brennan Barbo, Becca McKillop, and Kaylee Duncan. A lot of those are young people who volunteer their time to come down here. They're part of Tom's high school TV club, and we're grateful to have them here. We're grateful that you were here to watch and are watching at home. For my colleague, Jeff, it's great having you with me.
Kelly, it was fantastic doing this with you again.
And we'll have to do it again this time next year.
Let's hope so.
All right. For all of those of you here and watching, thank you for joining us for Chelmsford Telemedia. That's the Chelmsford Parade Committee. That's the conclusion of today's activities. Thank you.
And happy 4th of July, everybody.